What is it tonight?
Oh, it's a Hearts of Iron 4. It's a World War II strategy game. Basically, you control a country, any country. You can pick any country in the world that exists in 1936, and you play the lead up to the war, and then war breaks out. You play the war either historically, or you have like certain alternate history choices that you can make. Like, what if Russia converts to democracy instead of communist? What if the United States becomes a fascist country? What if you say play as Turkey, and Turkey wants to become part of the Axis? That kind of stuff.
Could be Switzerland and just go all in either side instead.
Nice. Exactly.
Todd, we were actually at Shannon and Andrew's last night, and we had a board game night, but they have a really awesome tabletop game called Secret Hitler. Have you heard of that one?
I played it. You can play it on Tabletop Simulator. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice. That was a fun one.
Tony was Hitler.
Yes, I was Hitler. And then nobody believed me when I said I was reformed Hitler on the next round.
That's because that's what Hitler would say.
Yes.
That is exactly what Hitler would say.
Well,
Andrew, have you ever played Axis and Allies?
Yeah, way back in the day. I'm still kind of peed off at one of my friends, so I bought the game and played it like a handful of times. Someone asked to borrow it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, he was a good friend of mine. I guess he took it over to some girl's house. They got into a big fight. He left without it and never got it back.
Dude, that's exactly what happened to half of my Magic cards.
Oh, no.
I loaned Danny. I don't know if you've met Danny before. Tony's met Danny. I loaned Danny like 3 of my best decks that had my best cards in them. A couple of them were like rare cards, and like one of them was really expensive. I had a Sliver Queen.
Oh yeah, that's up
from
there now.
The Tempest era.
Oh yeah, I love my Sliver Queen.
I had one of those, and I had a whole deck around that. I had a bunch of I gave him like 3 decks to play around with, and literally that day he was at his girlfriend's playing with those decks. He broke up with her that day, left without taking the decks, never talked to her again.
Oh no. That's when you just call up like, hey, you don't know me, but did he leave some stuff there that was mine? Just
I thought about it. Seriously.
You never leave the Magic cards behind.
For Magic cards, I would for the Magic cards.
Hilarious. It's like in the movie version of this, like you just break in at night, like with the full like cat burglar outfit, trying not to be seen. For the magic.
For the cards. For the cards.
For the MTG. Oh man. Well, how's everybody's week? What else you been playing, watching, whatever?
I went to the theaters for the first time in like 2 years.
That's right. You made an exception for a wise exception for the Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I
is
figured
that good? I haven't seen that yet.
It is very good.
Very worth it. Okay.
Very worth it. Yeah. I was watching I can't remember. I think then the app is Atom or something like that. It basically lets you reserve seats in theaters that have reserved seating.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching one of the theaters IMAX showing, and literally like for 5 days I watched it ahead of time, and nobody was picking seats. Day of, still absolutely empty. So I said, all right, fuck it. The theater's empty. I'm going to make this one exception because I really don't want to miss a Marvel movie that I've been looking forward to for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there was only, I would say maybe 10 other people in there by showtime, like one family and 2 or 3 couples.
Yeah.
Those assholes.
How dare they?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last podcast. It was Meg and I loved it. It was great. It was awesome.
Hated the experience.
Yeah, the only problem was
Just a
that
reminder of
we
why.
we should have waited a couple more weeks because we saw it in literally, I think, after the first Friday, like that
Opening weekend.
opening Tuesday or something like that, because we go for those $5 Tuesdays at Regal. But even on a matinee on a Tuesday where we thought it would be safe and nobody there, it was packed, and it was packed with
Assholes.
fucking assholes.
Like legit assholes, not like, oh, those assholes because they showed up. No, like legit
Actual
assholes that
dickbags.
were fucking on their phone the whole time.
Yeah, multiple
And
people on their
talking.
phones, talking through the movie, like all that crap, like that stuff that reminded us why we stopped going to movies so much, even before COVID. So, yeah, next time we'll wait a few weeks, like a good month before going to the next big release. But other than that, it was great. Super awesome. Highly recommend it.
Nice.
Try
Todd, real
the
quick.
method that I did. Download. I think it's. Let me. Yeah, I think it's the Atom app, and then just watch the showing that you want to go to, the approximate time that you want to go to, and check to see if people are reserving seats. And then if nobody's reserving seats, you know the theater is going to be mostly empty.
Yeah. Well, I think if I remember right, it looked mostly empty. There was maybe like two other groups of people the day before when the night before when I reserved seats, and then the day of it just like people swarmed in. Oh well, yeah.
All right, Todd, just talk about slivers real quick. Just, I don't know if you can see them. All of my legendary slivers from my commander deck.
Oh, nice! There's the Sliver Queen. That's awesome.
My favorite
amazing.
creature type.
Andrew's down with the MTG.
You know it. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me.
You're the guy on the street who opens up the trench coat, and instead of like fake designer watches, it's all MTG cards.
all reserved list cards too. So there you go.
Oh man.
Never to be reprinted again.
Never. Sadly.
Well, we got a bunch of news and stuff. We've got those big gaming events that happened, movie stuff, Netflix stuff all over the place. But I should mention first and foremost, because out of respect, because I have a few friends who are involved in this. Have you seen anything going on in the headlines about this possible Hollywood union strike?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I heard
That's
about that.
a very huge deal right now.
Yeah, the IA
Potentially.
Go ahead.
Potentially bigger than the writers' strike of mid 2000s and huge implications.
Yeah, because this is for like all sorts of crew on the
Everything
production
behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they do vote to strike, and this is nationwide, effectively could shut down probably 90%, if not more, of everything in production right now in the U.S.
Yeah. It will shut down anything that's not in CGI or animated production.
Yeah. A high school friend Elsbeth, she was sharing a lot of stuff on social media, just the stories from people on productions, and just there was a photo that's making the rounds right now of some young girl, maybe like 20 something or whatever, and she's like somebody snapped a photo of her like on a set off to the side on some like metal boxes, like where they like the light storage boxes or something for sets, and she's just like taking a nap with like a hat over her head and just lying on these freaking metal boxes. And and the caption was telling the story about how like everybody's fed up, like how I've always heard that, like, oh yeah, it's like, even because I've dreamed of like making movies since I was a kid, but I always heard like, oh yeah, it can be pretty grueling and tough because you have these long like 12 14-hour days. Sometimes it's crazy, like you love doing it, but oh man, it gets intense.
But not sometimes. That's the rule rather than the normal, exception, right?
Yeah. And my friend was chiming in a bit and saying like she's like, everything that these people are saying is 100% true and then some. She's like, I can't tell you how many times like I've been driving to or from set, like just sobbing to my husband or my family about how like wrecked I am, how exhausted I am, but I love what I'm doing and I love the industry. And it's just like, that torn feeling and everything. So it's shitty. It would suck to see everything come to a halt, but honestly, it's like I'm all for them getting
to be treated like
human beings. Yeah.
Just maybe it's time for the paradigm to shift again. That's what seems happening nowadays.
It's the balancing act between studios wanting to get films done in their quick production window versus hiring enough crew to do it safely and manageably without burning out your crew.
Yeah.
So you hire one crew and have them work 14 hours a day and get it done in 8 weeks, or you hire two crews and split them up over 8-hour days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or have the one crew do it in 12 weeks instead of 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend was saying online how she has to like physically like run and hide somewhere just to eat her lunch on her break. Otherwise, she's constantly hounded by people still wanting her to work when she's on her freaking like her one little break of the day, and she's like sitting there trying to desperately like shove a sandwich from craft services in her mouth, and it's like oh, we need this, or answer this question for me, blah blah blah, and she has to like physically hide herself somewhere just to get away from it. It's like fuck, man. But I guess today there was a big break in the story, the ongoing saga of it, because the largest union local, the International Cinematographers Guild Local 600, they are urging all their members to authorize a strike nationwide, and it looks like it was voted unanimously today by them, the local, and it's looking like the rest of them are going to follow suit. So it looks like it may actually happen this week.
Does it look like it's going to happen this week, or is it looking like?
It's looking like, Meg.
Okay.
Looking like.
Just checking.
Appears to be perhaps maybe looking like.
There's a high chance that could possibly.
High probability of a strike storm front coming due west. But yeah, we'll see. So I guess that kind of puts a dark cloud over all the rest of the movie and TV news that we're about to talk about.
Got to talk about it all with a grain of salt, depending on release dates and stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah. On the flip side, in the rest of TV news, Netflix had their event. Now this is goofy as hell. So I guess the big Netflix event that happened yesterday or 2 days ago is called the TUDUM event. TUDUM.
Like TUDUM.
Apparently, yeah, it's like describing the sound.
Mimic the sound of
logging into Netflix. Yeah, TUDUM. So there is a plethora of news and trailers and stuff that came out there, but I think the biggest one, frankly, the only one that's at the top of my list, is that freaking Cowboy Bebop. Well, not really a trailer. They just revealed the opening credits.
Full opening, right? Yeah.
And
yes, we saw how much Shannon like exploded.
Oh my god, she exploded so hard. Game night last night. She's like, I mentioned it. I mentioned, brought it up, and she's like, oh, how did, like, slam on the kitchen table? How did I forget that? Immediately grabs her phone and starts watching it. But I was astounded. I thought, like, me along with the rest of the fanboys, like, in my little geek heart, I hoped and dreamed, like, oh, wouldn't it be rad if they just did the exact same opening? That would be so cool, and like a tribute to the show and the fans and everything. But I never thought they actually would do it. Yeah. Well, it's funny though, on the official Netflix YouTube account, like right in the comment section, the top comment was some guy basically pointing out, like, oh yeah, Netflix was probably like, we literally can't do better than this, so we're just gonna fucking do this.
Might as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it was rad. My buddy Sean said his only complaint was that John Cho is looking a little too moody as Spike in these first few clips. Like, Spike's, he's a little more like playful and sly and whatever and cool guy, but he just kind of looks like sad face. But we'll see. I'm sure John Cho is great in it.
And they have said it's a continuation. It's not a readaptation of what's already been done.
They've been kind of vague about it. What I gathered, and I think the showrunner said something to the extent in previous interviews, that there's a couple of the original episodes that they're retelling. Like in the opening credits there, you see the shot of the if you recognize the two the drug smuggling couple from the very first episode. They're like drug smuggling that whatever red eye stuff in Mexico or space Mexico or wherever it is. Yeah. So there's definite like specific characters that they're bringing back and probably retelling those stories pretty close to the original. But I think it's just enough of a taste for the OG fans, and then from there they're expanding on to new territory. I did notice that there's still no sign of Ed, not even in the opening titles. So I'm thinking they're saving that for a reveal later down the road, which I mean, even I forget how many episodes in before Ed joins the crew originally.
It's a while.
It is a while. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. What I heard, and I don't know how factual or what this really translates to, is that it's not, again, a retelling, but it's just adding to the canon of what's already established. So kind of like you said, like they're going to probably just add in more, stories in between what was already there, is what I hope. Yeah.
If they don't kill off Spike in the end, I'm fine with that. Like, what if he actually lived? Like, what if it starts right there where he's like stumbling out of the cathedral or whatever it is?
Just takes one big deep breath and keeps going.
Oh, that was close.
That was a close one.
What a wacky adventure, you guys. There was a new little teaser trailer for Stranger Things 4.
Okay.
Catch that?
I didn't see that one.
There was
just real short, nothing major to it.
Yeah, short thing. I mean, so far it's been dealing with kind of hinting at getting back to where they left Hopper was in that Russian gulag or whatever the hell. Yeah. But this one was completely different. It was some sort of like spooky haunted house that factors into things. The little Scooby gang. They end up in this. Well, it starts off like a flashback to like the 50s, judging from the cars and outfits, and it's a family that moves into this home, and they're just like, it's a cutesy little like all American. Oh, they've moved in, and the little boy is sitting there eating his dinner, and then of course things like flash forward to kind of like upside down looking, and the house is all deteriorated and whatnot, and then the kids, or at least some of the kids, the Stranger Things gang, walk in and they're investigating the house along with Steve Harrington.
Are they gonna go full Scooby-Doo with this now, apparently? Or?
I guess, yeah. They could have used a Zoinks.
Right?
Dustin says he gives some like Sherlock Holmes quote, and everybody looks at him goofy until he says like, it's from Sherlock Holmes, man. But yeah, looks fun. It's a bunch of other shows that I'm not really familiar with. There's that Bridgerton one, which is like British sexy sex or something. I think there's a season 2 coming. One of Meg's. Oh, go ahead.
You missed Meg's big, huge trailer that she might have seen for The Witcher.
Oh, there's another one, new Witcher one.
Yeah, just a little sizzle thing.
Okay,
it's just kind of
Henry Cavill just sitting in the bath for 2 minutes.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. There's a couple Cavill shirtless scenes, but it's mostly footage from season 1, though.
Okay. Meg's been really excited about. They just released Sex Education season 3, which that's another show I have to catch up with. But also on
Gillian Anderson fix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But also Netflix also announced in all these announcements at that event that they've already been renewed for season 4, so there's plenty more to come. There was a first teaser for the Sandman based on the Sandman comics. I saw that looked interesting. I really am not very familiar. It's been on my list to get around to eventually, but I mean, it looks cool as far as I can tell. Just
I've heard good things about the stories, obviously being by Neil Gaiman. I'm all for it. So fingers crossed. I mean, Amazon did such a good job with Bad Omens, Good Omens, The Omens, whatever that was.
Good Omens.
That I hope Netflix does as good a job with this one. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Gaiman kind of has kind of equate him to almost like Stephen King. Like he has so many properties out there that have been adapted over the years that it's always a mixed bag. It's kind of a roll of the dice. But I mean, from what I've seen, I like this stuff. They also announced there's a Tiger King season 2 coming.
Of course there is.
I still haven't seen the first one. I did not get I didn't get caught up in the frenzy, but apparently, like, nobody involved with the original one is on board for this one.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, Meg filled me in. I saw bits of one episode, and that was enough for me. But she filled me in on the saga, and I guess we left out. Like the guy's in jail now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know how they can make a whole nother season.
Yeah.
He got arrested for putting a hit out on someone. Like, so yeah, he's gonna be in there for a while.
Oh my God. There was also a little teaser poster and announcement date for or release date for Big Mouth season 5.
Nice, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the poster is what's the main hormone monster again? I can remember his name. Maurice. Yeah, it's him doing like little fists to the camera with love hate tattoos on his knuckles. That's the poster, and it just says it's coming November 5th, so that's coming in.
Oh damn, that's coming quick.
Yeah.
Didn't we get like season 4 at the beginning of this year?
I think so. They're churning them out, and they're already renewed for a 6th season as well.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I'm liking the turnaround.
Yeah.
There was another little bit of news from, well, since we've been gone 2 weeks, I have a few older bits of news, but this was a fun one. That Wednesday Addams series that we've been curious about. Gwendolyn Christie has joined. Our beloved Brienne of Tarth / Captain Phasma, who totally got screwed over by Rian Johnson. But yeah, she's joined the Wednesday Addams series. She is the principal of the academy that Wednesday goes to, who still has an axe to grind with her former classmate, Morticia Addams. So you get to see her and Catherine Zeta-Jones being snarky at each other, I guess. Yeah. They also had, there was a couple other names I was surprised to see. Thora Birch is going to be in it. Haven't seen her in...
Yeah, been a hot minute.
The last thing I remember her in was American Beauty. I don't know where she went after that. Ricky Lindholm also, which is cool.
Oh yeah, I like her.
Yeah, and cast is coming together. And then I think the last bit I had for Netflix was, there were 2 things. They've been diving into their animation department. Todd, you mentioned that you saw that. I forgot it was a thing. The Witcher animated series, something.
It's a film.
Yeah, standalone film, right?
Yeah,
something of the Wolf or something.
Yeah, it's Winter of the Wolf or something like that.
Winter of the Wolf. Okay. Yeah, there was another spinoff that was coming there. I forget what. I don't know. Anyway, but the other one and their whole animation and they're specifically calling it anime of Tomb Raider that they're developing, and they have cast their Lara Croft, none other than Haley Atwell.
Oh, okay.
Agent Carter is going to be Lara Croft. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm on board. Is she gonna? You said it's animated, right? Not live action.
Yeah, it's animated. Yeah.
Oh, I would have liked to see her in the Tomb Raider outfit, but oh well, because I'll have to suffice.
Oh, I'm sure the internet will take care of that for us. They'll get it done. Yeah, that'll be cool. And I'm excited for this series actually, because they're specifically saying it's in canon with the rebooted game trilogy. Which I'm still working on the 3rd one. But yeah, I really like those. It's ever since Crystal Dynamics took over and made it very much in the vein of like Uncharted and whatnot. They kind of took what Uncharted started and then polished it a bit further. So I really love those new Tomb Raider games. And And I think that was it for the whole world of Netflix. Speaking of games, though, the Nintendo Direct happened just 2-3 days ago.
Yeah, sounds right.
Buttload of news in that department.
What do you mean?
Oh
no, then never mind.
I was just telling Todd I set up like restock alerts on my phone earlier for there's that website. I think it's like nowinstock.net or something. But you can get alerts on text or email or Telegram or something. But I'm on the hunt for that new OLED switch because even I guess they've got enough pre-orders now where you can't even they've cut off the pre-orders on all the major retailers.
Oh really?
Yeah, it doesn't even come out till the 8th, but it's gonna be nuts. It'll probably be a while before I get my hands on one.
It makes me wonder how many people with one already are going to try to upgrade just to this new version, because like I'm lucky enough to have a Switch, but I have no interest in getting one just for the OLED.
Yeah, it's not a big enough.
Really like into that.
I think it's mostly going to be for new people picking up a new one, for people picking up like a second one for a family member, or I don't think it's a big enough upgrade for people that already have one to go out in droves and get one.
Just get another one, right? Yeah, that's my thought exactly.
It'll be newcomers and scalpers.
Pretty much
resell it for absurd prices on eBay. Yeah.
Then again, there's always the fanboys and the tech heads that always want the newest and latest. So
yeah, that's true. So I did see the first big cool thing I saw. So I guess already there's a bunch of classic games available if you subscribe to the Switch Online service, which is only like $3 something a month or something.
Yeah, $4 a month.
$20 a year, so it's super cheap.
That's rad. Okay,
awesome.
But now they're expanding it. The crappy part is, I guess it's going to be an extra tier, so you have to pay more. But if you do, they're launching a bunch of Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games. And in tandem. Oh.
No, just offhand, just hearing that makes me want to go up to that next tier then, because there were some really good games.
Right, yeah. I think
the N64 is almost worth it, but for the Genesis games, you can actually pick up, I think every single one that they're releasing is available on the Genesis collection that they have on the Switch. And it's like $10 or $20, and you get that for that one price, and you get it forever. Yeah, it's essentially a game you can purchase.
Yeah,
it's just an authorized Genesis emulator, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, they only released a small handful of games. The initial, I don't even know if they put a launch date on it yet, but I think it's just coming soon. But once they launch them, the initial titles are going to be for the 64. They've got Mario 64, of course, Mario Kart, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, Ocarina of Time, Winback, Covert Operations, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario 64, and Sin and Punishment. On the Genesis side, Castlevania Bloodlines, awesome. Contra Hardcore,
really good one.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That was pinball, right?
Yeah, Echo the Dolphin.
Oh,
wow.
That's a throwback right there.
Yeah. Takes me back. Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, Rystar, Shining Force, Shinobi.
Shining Force. That is the hidden gem of the Genesis era.
Yeah.
If you've never played Shining Force, it's so fucking fun.
Okay. Shinobi 3, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage.
And Strider. Yeah, but they said that's just the initial launch titles when this service launches, and then there'll be more to come, of course.
Yeah, it'll be just like their SNES and their NES library. They'll release like 1 or 2 games every other month, and they'll release like a special scenario for one of the games.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, and in tandem with this, of course, the Nintendo is putting out Genesis and N64 controllers compatible We are in the year
You
2021.
can have it all.
And you can have a N64 controller once again, because everybody loves those N64 controllers.
Is it at least gonna be like wireless or anything, or
Should be.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, if it's for the Switch, it'll be wireless because
It
the
has
Switch
to,
doesn't
right?
have a controller
Yeah,
port.
have to be.
Now,
That's true.
speaking of Switch, like peripheral related news, one of the underrated big announcements here was for the current Switch owners, we're finally getting fucking Bluetooth audio support, which has always been like, why the fuck does this not have Bluetooth audio support?
Yeah, that seems odd.
reals.
Well, that's
Is that
good.
going to be on the OLED model or on all of them?
It's current. It's as of the current patch that they just released.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So it's just a software patch that they had to.
Yeah,
push
that's
out.
it. That's
Huh.
all it was. Because it's got Bluetooth. Like you need Bluetooth for the controllers. So why did it never have Bluetooth audio support?
Weird oversight, but all right. All right. As far as the games, there was a cool trailer for a new Kirby,
Mm.
3D Kirby game, because usually the old Kirby games were all 2D. This is a 3D adventure in a post-apocalyptic world.
Sold.
Yeah.
Basically, it looks like it's called Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and Kirby basically got dropped into like what's left of the earth after The Last of Us, essentially. But instead of horrific fungus zombies, you've got like cutesy, Kirby enemies.
So Adventure Time, but with Kirby.
Pretty much, yeah. It looked very Adventure Time. It looks fun as shit. There's that. There's Bayonetta 3 got a re-reveal trailer because it's been in development for ever.
Fucking ever.
But yeah, it was a pretty fun trailer for that. Splatoon 3. I'm vaguely familiar with the Splatoon titles, but I never played them. Monster Hunter Rise getting an expansion. Chocobo Grand Prix, a Final Fantasy Chocobo like kart racing game.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It's like a Chocobo on rollerblades, like going down the. It's for kids.
I mean,
or diehard Final Fantasy
we're
fans.
really big Chocobo fans.
Yeah.
It's for anime Final Fantasy fans. It's not for kids.
Yeah, there you go. There is a Castlevania collection, Castlevania Advance collection. So it's specifically the 3 or 4 titles that came out for Game Boy Advance back in the day.
And SNES.
Yeah. Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow. Oh, and the SNES title Dracula X. That's cool. Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers apparently are getting their own events, online direct events later next month, I think.
Yeah.
For some other announcements they're gonna have.
For Smash Brothers, it's the final DLC characters.
There's one more set, right?
Yeah, one more set of characters that are going to come out.
Yeah, and then some new content for Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Finally do more than one island, I hope.
And then the big news.
The big news that had Twitter saying, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
So I don't remember if I knew about this before and I forgot. Just like that. Oh, that's crazy rumor. That's never going to happen. But there is in fact a Super Mario animated movie coming. Mm-hmm. It is coming next holiday season. Well, next year. I mean, not this year. December 2022. And they released the voice cast. So we've got Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, which I'm 100% on board for bringing Charlie Day into literally anything.
I'm a big fan of his. Yep.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Cool.
I'm on board with that too.
Jack Black as Bowser.
That's the role he's been born to play.
Yeah. Why not? Yep. Keegan Michael Key as Toad. All right.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen, another one born to play. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And also there was a little they made mention that the actual longtime voice actor for Mario in the gaming world, Charles Martinet, he will also appear in the movie in various cameos. So that's nice.
Okay.
But yeah, so that is
be forgotten about or anything.
yeah.
That's good.
In the Nintendo Direct announcement, Shigeru Miyamoto himself was there. He reminded everyone that I guess this is launching in North America December 21st next year. And he's personally working alongside Illumination, the studio behind Despicable Me and the 1,000 Minion movies that followed. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's a thing.
That gives me more hope for it. I was really worried that the previous, I already forgot his name, but the voice actor for Mario was just, thrown off the side, thrown to the side or whatever. So I'm glad he'll be in it some way or another.
Yeah. We were kind of talking about this last night at game night. Chris Pratt, I think I like Chris Pratt, but I think we're getting to the point of peak Chris Pratt where he's the figurehead of too many franchises at this point. Like we need a Pratt break, I think.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have a fresher voice in the lead role for this, but I'm sure
he only has like one speed. Like he plays Chris Pratt in everything.
Yeah, it's
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt as Mario, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, which is fun. That's, I mean, Charlie Day as Luigi, but that I'm cool with because it's just, you cannot, like Charlie Day sparks joy, okay?
And we haven't had Charlie Day in like 7 movies of the past 3 years or something like that. So
yeah.
Hell, the last movie I remember him in was Pacific Rim.
Same, yeah. I didn't even see the second one.
Meg did, and she said, like, I should be glad that I didn't go see it with her. The second Pacific Rim movie.
Oh, it was hot garbage.
Yeah, that's why I didn't see it.
I almost walked out. It was that bad.
Yeah. Well, Del Toro wasn't a part of that one. Somebody else took over that one.
Why didn't see it?
Oh, speaking of Del Toro, damn it, I don't remember the name of it right now. I didn't write it on my notes, but one of my other movie buddies sent me a trailer for his new feature. It looks like some like 40s like noir, but mixed with, his usual dark fantasy stuff.
Yeah. I remember seeing that as well.
Oh, Nightmare Alley.
With a pretty good cast too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. What was it? Kate Blanchett.
Jude Law. Was Jude Law in it?
I think Jude Law. Willem Dafoe, some kind of like ringleader dude.
Oh, yeah, Bradley Cooper, Toni Collette, Richard Jenkins, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
That is like all-star fantasy cast.
I want to see it just based on the cast. Yes. So I don't even know what the story's about. But me at the cast.
No, yeah. It was a really solid trailer. And that's why it was my friend Kijan, who's another person involved in the film industry, and she was sharing a bunch of stuff. And basically we were just like, that's how you make a fucking trailer. Like so many of these like big Hollywood properties now, like, I mean, granted, we watch a lot of similar stuff all the time, big superhero fare and, big budget blockbuster stuff. So there's a very specific trailer formula, and that always happens in waves. Like they find whoever makes these big trailers for Hollywood, they find that niche and those gimmicks that they use for a few years, and then they slowly transition into other gimmicks. And like I think we've made fun of them before on the podcast, the big wah, like the epic wah, the remixing classic songs into some ethereal, slow, spooky, like ominous song. All that stuff.
However, I liked when they did that for the Watchmen trailer. That's like hands down one of my favorite trailers.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
I mean, sometimes they do get it right, so it works. It's a trope for a reason. Like, if it didn't work,
true, yeah,
no one would do it anymore. But
this the trailer for this Nightmare Alley, I recommend you check it out. It gives you a warm feeling, like something good and nice and fresh, And that is coming. Oh, is that this December 17th? That's coming fast.
Oh, wow.
Sweet. That's great. This is the first I've heard of it at all. Nice. What else do we got? Oh, did we? I didn't think we even finished the Nintendo news. No, I think that was pretty much it. Unless there was any other games you saw, Todd. I don't know.
Nothing really for the. If we're just talking about the Nintendo Direct stuff.
Yeah. In some other gaming news, I saw. I think this news is a little older, but I guess Microsoft has been working on a reboot of Perfect Dark.
That's been in development for a while.
It's been, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I guess for whatever reason it's been having some issues or delays. And the big news this past week was that they have brought on board Crystal Dynamics of the Tomb Raider reboots, I guess to help out and co-develop. So it's Crystal Dynamics and oh yeah, I guess just Microsoft and Crystal Dynamics.
I never played a Perfect Dark. I'm trying to remember. It's kind of like Tom Clancy-esque a little bit, like spy stealth, or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, it's just GoldenEye with a female protagonist, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mainly remember it for. It was on the 64. I think it came out shortly after GoldenEye, and it was after everybody got over GoldenEye multiplayer fever, after we spent one summer obsessing over multiplayer GoldenEye, then we moved on to Perfect Dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. First person spy thriller. Blah, 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 blah. Partnering with Crystal Dynamics, with world-class team behind character-driven games such as Tomb Raider to bring this first-person spy thriller to a new generation. All right. I'm game. See what to do with it. I think that's all I had for gaming, but speaking of reboots, a couple bits of movie reboot news. I don't remember if we talked about this before. Todd, I mean, as a 80s kid, you know Flight of the Navigator. Flight of the Navigator is being rebooted at Disney. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing and producing.
That's the only thing that gives me hope for it to actually be decent.
Yeah.
That was just one of Justin's favorite movies.
Yeah. Flight of the Navigator. I remember Flight of the Navigator. I don't remember. I think I was a single digit age the last time I saw it, but I still remember. Like if I hear the name Flight of the Navigator, I'm always like, oh man, really got to go back and watch that again.
Sarah Jessica Parker's film.
Was it really?
Sarah Jessica Parker? No?
Wow.
Yeah, she's in the very beginning. She's in the like science medical center.
Right. She's at the very beginning and the end. I think when he lands.
Okay.
It's very much that childhood adventure
Yeah.
movie that was popular in the 80s. The
like
space
explorers.
camp.
Yeah.
Well, it's the independent childhood kids, like the Space Camp, the Goonies, the Last Starfighter type movies.
Yeah. Now, will they get Paul Rubens to voice the robot again? He could still do it.
He could still do it.
Yeah. But he'd be game to do it. He's not doing anything these days.
What does he got going on? Yeah.
We saw him at we went to the 35th anniversary screening of Pee-wee's Big Adventure up in LA.
It was 2 weeks before COVID locked everything down.
Yeah. We squeaked in there right before they had to stop the rest of the tour. But yeah, she Bryce Dallas Howard, she directed a couple episodes of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I forget it was first or second season.
I think second.
Yeah.
Second season, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think she did do one of the season 1 episodes.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Oh, and she's done an episode of the upcoming Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that's
Nice.
right. Yeah.
Very cool. Nice. We were watching so we're finally still catching up on the last season of Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. And the other night we watched what was the name of it?
Something evil. Speak evil.
Speak Evil? Evil Speak or Evil Speak. Yeah. Which is like a 1980, I think it was like 81 or something. low budget horror movie with Clint Howard, and he's like he's at some like military prep school, but it was weird. It was like this weird cross between like a military academy / like Catholic school or something, or Christian school. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But he's the bullied like loser kid, and he somehow, in very 80s cheeseball like hackery weird science type way, he summons the devil through an Apple IIe.
Oh my god.
As you do.
Yes.
As
I
you
mean,
do.
Yeah.
To seek revenge on
To be
his
fair,
bullies.
The graphics for that were pretty spectacular.
It was pretty bonkers, yeah.
Is it? I'm sorry if you said this. Was it the anniversary of that movie or something recently too? I thought.
I don't know. I think it was like 81 or something. Well, we're in 2021.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think it might be like the 30th anniversary of that film, like pretty recently. I saw something about like that.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, we were watching it, and they even had Clint Howard like guest spot on the commentary parts of it and stuff. And at some point, they started talking about his brother Ron, and it clicked for Meg, like a fuse popped in her brain, and she's like, "Wait, he's Ron Howard's brother?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I had to pause it and explain like the lineage of all the Howards and Bryce Dallas Howard. She's like, "Oh, she's hot."
Well, she is.
Well, yeah,
you're not lying. Yeah.
And I mean,
I would sit on that face. No problem.
I mean, girl's got skills. She can run away from a T-Rex in heels. So
yeah, no problem.
Credit where credit's due. But yeah, so Flight of the Navigator reboots.
Speaking of anniversaries, before you get on further, Battle Royale, Meg, is now 20 years old.
20
Wow.
years.
20, only 20? Wow.
Only 20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. About 2000,
Mhm.
2001.
Ugh, so old.
Yep.
I mean, my body reminds me that I'm old every day, but
you,
like that made me feel emotionally old.
you don't have to tell me the numbers. Never tell me the odds. The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys remake is happening at Warner Brothers. And they announced the stars of this are going to be, well, from other recent movies, kid from A Quiet Place, Noah Jupe, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right, and Jaden Martell from the It remake. I forget his character. I can never remember the character's name from It, but he's like the main kid. Anyway.
Was also on Stranger Things, or am I thinking of a different person?
I think you're thinking of Finn Wolfhard. He was
That's
the
what
kid
I'm
that was
thinking
on
of,
Wolf.
Finn Wolfhard was
He's
the other
too
one.
young to be in whatchamacallit anyway, huh?
No, Jaden Martell. Well, these kids still are pretty young. Jaden Martell, he was also recently live action Morty with Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. Okay, that actually is where I'm picturing him from right now. So cool.
There you go. Yeah.
I wish they would do a full episode like that.
I mean,
Oh God, yeah.
Live action.
Yeah. Supposedly they shot like a crap load more of footage, so hopefully they just trickle out more little spots like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess there had been plans for a while to do a TV series adaptation of The Lost Boys, but the production just couldn't get off the ground. And
That's because it shouldn't. You should just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone in the past with Sexy Sax Man.
Darn.
But yeah, I guess it's happening as a new movie. They've got the two younger boys taking over. And who was going to direct this? Blah, 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 blah. Randy McKinnon, who is also working on DC's Static Shock series for Warner Brothers, is going to be writing this. And Jonathan Entwistle on board to direct. I have no idea who that is.
That doesn't sound familiar to me either.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That there is, I think I did already know about this one. There is a Hellraiser remake headed to Hulu.
What?
I didn't know it was going to be a direct Hulu film, but that is happening.
Is it a remake or a continuation or a prequel? Or
It is a remake.
what's it supposed to be?
Pinhead? No.
Did anyone watch, I think, was it straight to Netflix? I don't know, but there was some sort of Hellraiser movie out pretty recently about like an accountant Cenobite or something like that Shannon and I couldn't even get through. No, yeah, we watched like the
What?
first 20 minutes and we're like, no, we can't watch this anymore. It's too lame.
With like an actual accountant?
Something like that. Let me look it up and see if I can find it. But it was a
All
movie,
right.
I guess.
Okay, well, while you're looking that up, so yeah, Hellraiser remake has been acquired by Hulu, so it's going to be a direct to Hulu film. Night House director David Bruckner is on this, and David S. Goyer was also involved in the remake. He's been involved in a lot of comic book properties. I mean, the whole Dark Knight trilogy with Nolan and whatnot. He's co-wrote those, I believe. We'll see.
But yeah, from 2018, Hellraiser Judgment was one that we couldn't even get through, sadly.
Hellraiser Judgment.
Yep. I don't think it's the same guy as Pinhead either.
Oh, I think I do remember hearing about it. Yeah, it's the last film that they made.
Yeah. And that's kind of what did it too. It's like, well, it's not even him, so why should we watch this?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
And one more in horror related news. I just saw this earlier. This sounds fun. Kevin Bacon returning to his horror roots. He was, of course, in the OG Friday the 13th. What was that? Invisible Man, Hollow Man in the 90s, late 90s, I think. But he has joined a Blumhouse project. Directed by John Logan, not familiar, but it's a horror thriller. Don't say it's like a slasher or whatever, but it's a horror thriller from Blumhouse that takes place in a gay conversion camp.
Oh, okay.
Described as a tale of LGBTQ empowerment, taking place there. Not much.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. So they, I guess the people forced there, rightfully so, have enough and, go to town murdering everybody.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Good to me.
It sounds good.
I mean,
you'd probably want to murder everybody too if you were forced to go to one of those places.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, Kevin Bacon is also set to star in the upcoming Toxic Avenger remake.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Star, as in like he's gonna be the Toxic Avenger?
No.
Oh.
No, he's like one of the lead villains.
Okay.
I don't know if they've said anything beyond that, who he is specifically.
I just watched him in a random 90s movie. Has
What's
anybody watched The River Wild?
Oh God, when it first came to VHS and my mom rented it.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max, and I was scrolling through and I just, hey, let's watch this.
How
I just
was
watched. It's actually not bad. He plays a convincing villain, and Meryl Streep is not bad, and the kid from Jurassic Park is in it. So,
Oh, really?
Oh, Joseph Mazzello.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's the only other film, the only other film from Jurassic Park that I've seen him in.
He was in. It was either Band of Brothers or The Pacific. He was in one of those, and it blew my mind because I was like, I know this guy. Holy shit, that's the kid from Jurassic Park.
So like, he's in those recently, though.
The
That sounds
Pacific,
like,
yeah.
right?
Well, The Pacific was 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, was it that long ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
now I
was
got to
feeling old.
rewatch
I feel like that
those.
was. Jeez.
Yeah, those are great ones.
Yeah.
So the last thing he was in was FX's Impeachment, an American crime story. That's apparently in its 3rd season.
Yeah, they're just doing a new one with Clinton, right?
Yeah, it's Clinton.
Yeah.
Wait, the Clinton
Lewinsky.
one, and it's in its 3rd season. I thought that was a new thing. This.
So it was. There's different versions of it. It started with the O.J. Simpson trial, I'm pretty sure, and then it moved on to
Oh, so just
someone else.
covering.
And now the newest iteration is the Clinton impeachment.
Oh, okay, so they're covering just different scandals.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
that's the same one as the OJ one?
Yeah,
That
it's the
had-
same, like
Is that the one
Trio,
that
I
had
guess?
the guy from Friends?
yeah, the same concept, but they go and do
David
these different.
Schwimmer.
David
major
Schwimmer, yeah.
stories. Yeah.
David Schwimmer is O.J. Simpson.
No, he actually played the lawyer,
The
the Kardashian. Yeah, Kardashian. And he
Oh,
actually looked a lot like him.
I know, it's creepy. He acted a lot like him too. It was a
It was
pretty
uncanny.
good acting job there.
interesting. All right.
Right, that season was really fucking good. I might actually have to watch the second and third season then.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about these seasons. I forget what the other ones are about, but they seem pretty interesting.
Second one.
Don't make me add more TV to my list. I'm never going to get through the shows I already have to get around to.
Second one was the assassination of Gianni Versace.
That's right.
That's why I never watched the second season, because that really didn't interest me. But hey,
Nope.
Gotcha. Maybe this will interest you, Todd. 2 bits of movie news I categorized under what the fuck?
and you think it would interest me?
Yes. Well, okay, I'm gonna start with the one that you may be more excited for. Twisted Metal. I think we already talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about this
previously.
with Byron.
Yes, but the new bit of news is that Anthony Mackie is set to star. Our new Falcon / Captain America is set to star in the live action Twisted Metal TV series from Sony.
Okay.
All right.
He's kind of pulling a Chris Pratt. He's in everything now too. He's in like 4 different straight to Netflix films when I'm looking through that, and
Yeah.
I mean, can't fault him making that money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I was reminded today also of that Chris Hemsworth one that I missed, Extraction, which I heard was pretty good.
Extraction.
It was
Yeah,
okay.
they released a teaser for number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one's it's popcorn background watch. It's not
Yeah, just put on if
Cinema.
you want an action film to kind of just have on.
I want an action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One action, please. Extra
Yeah.
bullets.
Yes. And the other insane one, the insane headline that I saw was the Twins sequel, Triplets, is actually happening.
Wait,
Yep.
wait,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
wait. For realsies? It's like original casts and everything too.
For
Arnold
real
Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and Tracy Morgan are set to star in director
Triplets.
Ivan Reitman, solid
Yeah.
director, Triplets. So I remember probably 10 years ago, they were trying to get this off the ground with Eddie Murphy. And it was when Eddie Murphy, I think, was first trying to dip his toe back into projects that weren't just, daddy daycare and whatever for his kids. There was talk of trying to get that off the ground. He was trying to get Beverly Hills Cop 4 made, and then that went over the next decade. It went through a bunch of different iterations, and maybe it'll be a show with his son in it, and he'll be like passing the baton to him or something.
That actually led into him doing Dolomite. The failure to get that off the ground is what caused him to do Dolomite, which, by the way, if you've not seen that, is fucking good.
I love Dolomite. That was so well done.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he still has a deal with Netflix to do some new stand-up specials, I think, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is happening. Triplets with Tracy Morgan, and I'm glad. That's cool. Ivan Reitman, he's a solid director. Who else is? I don't think there's much news beyond that, but yeah, that's gonna happen. And another kind of weird one, and again, I always cringe when I hear about prequel stories, but I like the cast. There is a Wonka movie happening, which is a prequel story of Willy Wonka. And
that's actually part of the big Netflix news. Is Netflix bought the rights to Roald Dahl's
entire collection, right?
Entire collection.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that. Okay. Yeah. So Timothy Chalamet will be Willy Wonka.
What?
singing and dancing in the title role.
What?
And Keegan Michael Key has also joined the cast.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah, always
Yeah.
down for him. His role and character details are under wraps so far, but yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, are they going like the Johnny Depp Tim Burton route with that? I wonder, because that's what Timothy Chalamet I feel lends himself more towards, but I hope not, because the Gene Wilder's, the best.
Yeah.
See, I don't
So I
see
guess we'll see.
Timothy playing more of the Tim Burton type of version. I see him playing more of the straight-laced.
I
Gene
hope
Wilder
so.
type.
Yeah,
hope
I
so.
haven't. I still to this day have not seen the Tim Burton Johnny Depp
Johnny, I
one.
thought we saw it in the theater together.
No, we didn't. I saw I've seen tiny bits on TV while it's been on, and those tiny bits were kind of enough for me.
I mean,
But-
it's worth a watch. I'm glad I've seen it once. I've never had any other real draw to go back and rewatch it because, I love the Gene Wilder one. That is Willy Wonka to me. But it's if you haven't seen it, just to kind of know what it is, it's worth it.
It's very Tim Burton stripe and creep and eyeliner and
100% Tim Burton.
yeah.
Yeah. And Johnny Depp talking like a weirdo.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we shall see. In over in the world of superheroes and whatnot. Well, actually, before we get to that, Indiana Jones 5. The gods apparently don't want this movie to be made because Pinewood Studio. What's up?
Because they are just and kind and all-knowing. But sorry, go on.
I don't know. The set of Indiana Jones 5, well, the crew of Indiana Jones 5 was reportedly hit hard by a norovirus outbreak. At least 50 people on the crew puking their guts out, and they had to stop production. Really bad. I mean, to be fair, it was Pinewood Studios as a whole. So not just Indiana Jones 5, but also Ant-Man 3 got hit too by the outbreak. So they had to pause filming.
Well, hopefully that outbreak continues into the strike. And then after the strike, they just say, fuck it.
It's possible. Who knows? I mean, this news broke about a week ago. So who knows? Maybe they're past it now and picked back up filming. I don't know. But yeah, apparently they said there was at least 50 people, definitely more than that, were struck down. And they said the crew was dropping like flies. And also that they already had some people off with COVID. So it was a double whammy. The stars were supposedly fine. Harrison Ford was all healed up, from his previous injury, and he was set to go. But
they don't eat off the basic craft services table.
Leave that to the serfs. Speaking of that too, there were previous rumors that this movie is setting up co-star Phoebe Waller-Bridge to replace Harrison Ford, I guess for her own spin-off series, which I don't know. I don't care. I would be better. I would be happier with a spin-off series like that than let's just recast Indiana Jones with some younger dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
I'm definitely more of a fan of the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
In these sort of major franchises rather than recasting.
Yeah, for sure.
Take the MCU, for example, in 15, 20, 30 years from now, I'd rather see new characters being brought out rather than just recasting Iron Man and Captain America for the third time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of that, I mean, there is a brouhaha going on because right now Marvel is desperately trying to cling to those characters.
So this has actually happened before with DC. It's going to go nowhere. They will likely settle out of court, and the Ditka family and Stanley family will get a slightly larger paycheck than they've already been getting.
Yeah. Yeah. So the deal is that the copyrights are running out for the original characters from which basically they are about to default to the heirs of the the original creators, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and I think Gene Colan, who created most of the freaking characters in the MCU.
Right.
So Marvel is now suing to hold on to full control of the Avengers characters. And but yeah, it's likely it'll just come down to a price point, however much it costs. I mean, Disney has all the money in the world, so they can just say, okay, like, let us just cut you a check. And
how much money can we throw at you to keep this? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I forget my my lawyering with trademarks and stuff. What is it to get into the public realm? Is it 75 years, or is that been changed?
It's been changed, I believe. Disney is very heavily involved in
I'm sure.
making sure copyright law is very in favor of corporations rather than public domain. I believe now it's 100 years.
Okay.
And then there's additional modifiers on top of that and all that good stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this is more of the families themselves are using a copyright exception, and then Disney is suing to prevent that rather than the copyrights defaulting to public domain or defaulting back to the original owners.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, I don't have the exact numbers, but if I remember, it's like the laws are kind of, they read like stereo instructions with a bunch of caveats, because it's like the bare minimum is like, let's say I create a character and then I never like re-up that copyright, or I don't have any heirs to pass it down to or anything like that. So it's like 90 years or some odd years after my death, like it goes to public domain. But giant asterisk under that, like if this company purchases rights and this happens, there's a bunch of different factors that they could extend it out further.
And most of those have been because of Disney.
Time-wise, but just curious on if that could ever, or would that ever probably be a thing, and who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like Sherlock Holmes, for example, I think is still in public domain, right? So like anybody can write a Sherlock Holmes novel.
Yeah, so there's contention with that, actually. So Sherlock Holmes, the character himself, is public domain. However, certain traits of Sherlock Holmes and certain stories with Sherlock Holmes are not public domain because they were released later after the character himself.
Okay.
So that's why, like the Netflix Enola Holmes, like there was a lawsuit from the estate. He's not supposed to show like caring or affectionate traits or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So you can write Sherlock Holmes, but he has to be an asshole.
He has to be like this cold, analytical type character.
Oh, so Cumberbatch is Sherlock.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you've ever watched the BBC show, he's like an alien. All right. Well,
it's just the family trying to hold on to a little bit more to get more paydays, basically.
Yeah. It all come down to money. Well, speaking of that, and the House of Mouse, there's a Disney Plus anniversary day coming. I guess the second anniversary of Disney Plus is November 12th. So they've announced there's a bunch of big stuff coming. That's the day that Shang-Chi will drop into streaming. They teased a bunch of other like Star Wars and Marvel stuff. What else? There's debut of a new Home Alone reboot.
Jesus. Come on.
Disney Plus and Star Wars. Have any of you seen the Star Wars Visions yet?
Oh, yes.
I didn't get around to it. Damn it.
Damn you, Tony.
I know.
I watched the first one and it was quite rad. It's a cool take. So, excuse me, I'm curious to see like what the other story's about and how like it pertains to just the Star Wars universe.
They're all radically different from each other.
Oh, I'm sure that's what I think I'm going to like the most, is that each one is a standalone that has nothing to do with the other, and they're just kind of their own thing, right, Todd?
Yeah, they're all okay. They're all just interpretations on a story inside a Star Wars world, what the Japanese take would be on that. And they're all like non-canon, unique, like little, like do whatever you want type things. and there's only like one or two brief cameos of major characters, so it's all like brand new characters, brand new stories, and things that may or may not have happened.
Right.
Yeah. It's a Star Wars animatrix.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
without being canon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of surprising. I wonder why it's for sure not canon. It's just stories.
Yeah, it's just stories.
Mm.
Some of the stories that they use go against like the known there not being any Jedis left in this time period. Just
Okay.
like inconsistencies like that. Some of them definitely could be canon if they're set like in the old Republic era.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first episode, you see the two without spoiling too much, the two Jedi battle there, and then you see the like,
Okay, you can talk about it. I'll watch it eventually.
you see the mercenaries wearing like discarded stormtrooper armor. So if we're looking at canon, like this is supposed to be post like Empire time, or post Empire, the collapse of the Empire. So why are there two Jedis fighting at that time frame?
Right. Yeah.
Well, as we've seen throughout Star Wars Rebels and whatnot, like there's freaking Jedi hiding all over the place.
Yeah, there are Jedi here and
man,
there.
I swear.
Yeah. Yoda's not special. Like those Jedi hiding all up in the place.
And if you ever read any of the books too, you know that there was like a bunch in hiding here and there. So
yeah. Speaking of that, by the way, the Obi-Wan series has wrapped filming, and Ewan McGregor had nothing but wonderful things to say. He said, "Oh, the fans will not be disappointed." Like he was so thrilled, like everything that they've done and the care and the story and production that they've done, and being able to continue Obi-Wan's story. He's like, yeah, it's going to blow everybody's minds.
I like how the only good thing that really ever came out of those prequel trilogies is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. Like that's the only pass that we all give is his sign of approval.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I just think that's
and the soundtrack. Ewan McGregor and the soundtrack.
Badass.
Yes, agreed.
Duel of the Fates is like
that. I mean, that's the third best Star Wars song, and there's a long list of good Star Wars songs.
Oh, yeah,
for sure. Speaking of going back to Shang-Chi, FYI, that is officially the biggest 2021 release theatrically by a mile, I think.
Isn't that the biggest
something million or something? Did I see?
It's still at number 1 on the 4th weekend now. I don't know what the actual box office number is, but it's knocking everybody out.
Didn't like Black Panther like do the same thing, or is this exceeding that?
I don't think it's getting.
I think Black Panther probably did better, but for COVID times, I think Shang-Chi is still kicking ass. I would have to look up the exact numbers. But,
I'll check it.
Yeah. On the other side of the superhero world, there was reports that Sony still is in fact planning their whole Sinister Six spin-off world, including what we've all expected, a eventual Spider-Man and Venom crossover.
Oh yeah, that was the big leak that came from the pre-release of Venom 2. The previews, the people that have got to see early screenings, is there's a post-credits scene, just like most superhero films, and it's basically a news story talking about Spider-Man.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock is looking at a YouTube video with J. Jonah Jameson screaming about Peter Parker.
Pretty much, yeah.
That would be rad.
And then just to follow up, Black Panther blew the Shang-Chi numbers out. Black Panther did 200 mil opening.
Oh yeah.
But that was also when everything was good again. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shang-Chi will definitely have longevity for sure.
Yeah, Shang-Chi has the biggest pandemic opening, basically. The post-pandemic world opening.
So like you said, it's coming to Disney Plus in November with the anniversary.
Yeah, November 12th.
Okay.
November 12th on Disney Plus. So yeah, not that far off.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for that one, and you know, I still want to see not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, but I don't know if I'll, you know, want to. Is it even in theaters anymore? I don't think so, right?
I don't know.
It's probably at like a budget theater or something, like here and there.
Yeah, maybe you can catch
I
$5
think-
there. Hey, that's one you can wait for streaming. I mean, it was solid. I was glad we went and saw it. It was better than I expected.
Yeah.
My complaints still are this is a film that should have been made 8 years ago.
Like when it was relevant with the
Yeah.
MC storylines. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, without spoiling anything, they with the timing of it now, there are threads that will continue on in the MCU from here.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So it's one I don't think I want to spend the money to go see, but I still want to watch it. So
It was definitely not worth the Disney Plus premium.
yeah.
I'm not paying $30 for anything. I don't care. I don't care that much. Yeah. In other giant franchises, which, well.
Oh, before we move on, since we're talking about Disney Plus,
okay.
Has anybody caught up with What If?
Yes. I'm very curious to see what the next episode is, as it ties in directly to the previous one. Tony, why not?
Tony, that face.
I have not. I ran out of time this week. We're doing other stuff. We're watching other things. It's okay. You can talk.
Excuses is all I can.
It's all Meg's fault, really. She just.
Well, I mean, spoiler free. You know, like so, every episode has been kind of a standalone episode, but at the end of this one, there is basically a cliffhanger of someone appearing in, you know, a different form of what we've seen them, and what that entails is going to be a whole nother what if tied into it.
You guys can talk about it. It's totally fine. I don't care.
So this episode, go ahead.
Last one I saw was if Killmonger joined up with Tony Stark, how that all played out differently, which was awesome. But yeah, go ahead. What were the last episodes?
Well, I think you've only missed one then.
Okay.
I think the episode after that is this one, and that's Party Thor. So you miss out on Party Thor.
Oh, nice.
Which is overall just a fun episode. I mean, it's not as hard hitting as any of the episodes before it.
Yeah, last few have been dark.
Yeah.
It's just a
lighthearted
and fun, and the entire cast is just
with a real, if I'm not mistaken, real Chris Hemsworth doing the voice. And I don't know if I didn't check if Natalie Portman was doing the.
Yeah, that was Natalie Portman. The only one that wasn't was Captain Marvel. She's the only one that didn't return.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Brie Larson, but the rest of the cast.
Oh, so Brie Larson is busy getting jacked. Have you seen any of her workout videos for Captain Marvel too? Oh yeah, she posts them on Instagram. It's like they've got like she's doing like the planks wherein somebody like throws a 45-pound like barbell plate on her back, and she's doing these crazy squats with the heavy kettlebell, and also with like a chain wrapped around her waist on some sort of pulley system on the floor. So she's doing squats, and as she's trying to pull up, there's a pulley system like weighing her back down to the earth. It's freaking, she's trying to be Hulk Hogan or something. It's crazy.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so Party Thor.
Yeah. So the premise of this was, what if Thor didn't have Loki as a brother growing up? Odin gives Loki back to the Frost Giants, and Thor is the only child that never has the brother to learn lessons off of. And so he just becomes a party frat boy. And his entire adventures revolve on throwing the next greatest rager that all of the universes will remember forever.
All 9 realms will party.
I'm excited to watch this. Oh man.
And, so So basically, the ending is spoiler. Unfortunately,
Yeah, go for
it's the Watcher. The party is ended. We've fixed everything on the world, and Thor has learned lessons and is becoming a better person. But the Watcher is doing his typical narration over the end, and everybody had a happy end. But who is that? So something the Watcher doesn't anticipate.
it. Mhm.
We see Vision. Well, we see Ultron first come down, and it's the Ultron armor with the Infinity Stones. So he's got the
Ooh.
Infinity Stones, and then the helmet reveals it's Vision with the final Mind Stone in there. And the Watcher didn't see it coming, so like if
What
the
is
Watcher
he
didn't even know
seeing?
what the fuck is coming, what's going on?
Dun, 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 dun.
Because he watches everything.
That's interesting. What if they've been playing us with the long game this whole time, where we're like, oh, these are all just, little one-off stories. None of this really matters for the furthering MCU. But then things go awry, and even so the Watcher, like you said, he doesn't anticipate this fork in the road, and ultra-powered Vision Ultron goes apeshit on all the universes.
They're going like the What If Avengers, basically, is what they're going to build.
Huh.
The Watcher is going to build his Avengers.
What I was hoping for when I first saw these what ifs is that, with this new multiverse that we're, going into with this next big wave, is like, what if these are all, like you said, on actually like real universes that then meld into the actual storyline moving forward? Because that would be dope.
So they're all going to have to join forces, Captain Carter and all the rest of them.
I'm down for Captain Carter live action. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Give Haley Atwell her real chance here.
Yes. Always more Haley Atwell. That's another one for the list. You always need more Charlie Day. You always need more Haley Atwell. All right. And well, in more TV news, here's something that I've been itching for more of for it feels like 3 years now, I think. Todd, get excited because the Orville season 3 has a release date.
Finally.
Yeah, and a little teaser trailer, which it's just a lot of, it's a pretty shot of the bridge as they go over like a bunch of little like voiceover clips from their past history for the last 2 seasons. But yes, it's the bad news. Unfortunately, it's not until March next year, but it is coming. It's set in stone. So that is coming to Hulu. They've got a new title, The Orville New Horizons.
I think need to give the Orville a second shot. I watched a couple episodes and liked it, but it was one of the early episodes that followed the same kind of trope of like, oh, these people were sequestered. They sequestered themselves from the universe and we have to break them out. And I just couldn't really follow that. Kind of took me out of the whole thing.
It's very much like OG Star Trek, very episodic. So if that's not your bag, I can see why it might be a turnoff. But it's, I don't know, something about the good old fashioned wholesomeness of it just grabbed me, and the characters started to grab me, and that's really all I needed.
It's next gen with fart jokes. That's all it is.
There you go. Yep. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Oh, and the final performances of Norm Macdonald.
Yes, unfortunately, sadly, we have to pay respect to Norm Macdonald. Yeah, fuck cancer, man. I guess he chose to keep that battle private, but I guess after he passed, his family came out, or agents or whoever came out and said that he'd been battling it for about 9 years. Sucks. But yeah, he is great on the show as Lieutenant Yaphet. I think he's like the chief engineer too.
The amorphous blob.
Yeah,
he's the like green gelatin blob that tries to romance the doctor.
Yeah. But what's great about, I think this is what I know, one of the things that sticks out for me on a show like this, where I know I really appreciate what the writers are doing. With less care in the writer's room, a character like that, just a big goofy blob, he could just be a one-off joke. You know, just like a stupid jokey thing. He just comes in and says a one-liner, or he's gross and everybody says, "Oh, fuck off," or whatever like that. But there are episodes with his character where like he's the emotional core. Like he's actually
he has feelings.
Yeah, he has feelings. And he's like,
He's
I
a
know I'm just a big
multidimensional-
blob, but for God's sakes, I'm a person, you know? I think he like tries to have a relationship with somebody else or something. That anyway, it's it's very wears its heart on his sleeve sort of sci-fi, and that's my jam. So yeah, I'm excited for Orville New. I just realized that subhead, the Orville New Horizons, that's also the same subtitle as Animal Crossing New Horizons, isn't it? Yeah.
People are wondering if this season will take a more serious tone. I think is like the
Well, they got pretty serious. I mean, they had like a full-on, like they had those giant space battles and everything with the I forget what that other race was of the AIs and stuff.
Yeah, and then they had the like time travel ish like paradox episode, which kind of was more on the serious side.
Yeah, with Meg really loved that alternate universe episode because of Adrienne Palicki in her more grizzled Firefly-esque sort of outfit and her low-cut top and whatnot. So
if she was on that as well, okay, I definitely have to watch the Orville now. All right,
Adrienne Palicki? Yeah.
She's number one basically.
Yeah. She's Seth MacFarlane's character's ex-wife.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of the wrong person then, but still, I'm down. Yeah,
it's a fun show. In that same vein, the new Star Trek series, one of the 1,000 new Star Trek series, Strange New Worlds, featuring the ongoing adventures of young Spock, Captain Pike, and their number one, Rebecca Remain, who is I think a lot of people's number ones.
She is still doing it.
Oh yeah. She was great on The Librarians. Now she's moved on to this. But the co-creator, Akiva Goldsman, who isn't he kind of like helming the whole Star Trek universe right now? Akiva Goldsman, I think.
I think he's one of the ones with Kurtzman that are. Kurtzman is the overall.
Kurtzman's the overall. Yeah, Akiva is like right-hand dude. So he's co-creator of Strange New Worlds, and he was teasing the structure of this upcoming series is going to be very much like the original Star Trek series, very old school, episodic.
Yes.
Which I think they kind of stole that idea from the Orville, but whatever.
That's what everybody was hoping Discovery was going to be, but it never turned out that way. But
yeah. I mean, I love Discovery. I don't get some people's complaints. I mean, there's a lot of Star Trek fans out there. Everybody is looking for something different, but I loved all of Discovery.
I get it. I hated the first half of the season, and that first half of the first season really turned me off to it. So I didn't actually watch the rest of it until season 3 came out. So I get the hatred on it. It definitely was not OG Trek,
right.
But it definitely gets better as the series progresses. It's like any Trek. Like the more of it you watch, the better it gets.
Yeah. Well, at least now they have there's outlets for every Trek fan out there. Here's your animated goofy Trek. Here's your big story arc, crazy insanity Discovery going to new worlds and stuff. And then here's classic OG episodic, everything's resolved in an hour Trek.
Where's my horror Trek?
Horror Trek. Ooh, that'd be rad.
We could get a Klingon series. That would be a good horror Trek series.
Let's do that.
Very good. Let's see what else we got. Oh, The Boys. The Boys season 3 has wrapped. Okay. And they celebrated with a very not safe for work video for the fans put out on Twitter. It's a collection of the crew just saying like, we fucking did it. Fuck you all, I'm going home. A lot of that.
Speaking of The Boys, did any of you watch they had like small little, I think, short newsreels brought to you by the Vought Entertainment that I never caught, but
I forgot about those. I've been meaning to watch them. I saw a headline about them and then I forgot.
They keep showing up in my YouTube recommended videos.
Right.
The Vought News Network.
Yeah. It's basically like their Fox News.
Yeah.
but it's supposed to bridge the gap a little bit between season 2 and 3, or like what are the heroes up to and whatnot. But yeah, so they had a little rap video, just everybody celebrating that they're done. There's Carl Urban giving a nice little speech to the crew, saying how everybody went above and beyond this year and think it's going to be their best season yet and whatnot. And there was a little bit from Jensen Ackles.
Oh yeah,
joined the cast as a Soldier Boy. Yeah, Meg's super excited about that one.
Same.
Yeah, that'd be
Looking
good.
forward to that. Shannon's
Yeah.
super excited as well.
Yeah, I forget what the release date is on that one. Oh, they haven't said a release date, but sometime early next year, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other new shows, HBO just released a first image from The Last of Us with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie.
Oh, I forgot Bella Ramsey was going to be Ellie. That makes me want to watch a little bit more. I really enjoyed her in Game of Thrones.
What was she? I can't picture her.
She was Lady Mormont. She was
the bear girl.
Yeah, Bear
Oh,
Island.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. Little badass.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Okay.
she's also, if you guys ever get a chance, she did the voice acting of Hilda, which was a very endearing animated show on Netflix as well, which was very cute.
I heard from a few friends that was a really good show.
Yeah, it was well done.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't have pictured her as Ellie, but now I see it. And I mean, from her acting chops, like hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. Tom Welling is returning to the CW, and he's in good company. He's coming along with Brendan Fraser.
Yay!
For a Doom Patrol sort of thing, or what's going on with that?
Brendan Fraser's back. So this is a show. I mean, it's the CW just bought the rights to it basically, but the show was already been fully shot and produced. Leonine Studios international action series called Professionals, starring Tom Welling, Brendan Fraser, Elena Anaya. I'm not familiar with her. Premiere date has not been announced yet, but this feels very much like, I mean, the poster for it that they released and the description of it, it feels just like a good old fun time, like Burn Notice or something. So I'll just read it right here. In Professionals, top tier security operative Vincent Corbo, who is Tom Welling, is paid to protect the interests of rich and powerful clients using any means necessary, legal or not. Billionaire futurist Peter Swan, Brendan Fraser, hires him when he suspects sabotage caused his next-gen satellite to explode on launch. But Corbo's former love interest and now Swan's fiance, Dr. Grace Davila, Elena Anaya, is racing to help stave off a global catastrophe, making things complicated. It just looks like big dumb fun.
Has this already been out? Because it says 2020 is when it originally could have aired.
I don't know. I'm not seeing that it aired anywhere. It was produced last year. It was filmed in Ireland and South Africa. Production of Most Media, Subotica, Spire Films, and Roadside Attractions.
Okay, maybe that's just its production in timeline as opposed to its airing timeline.
Yeah, maybe it's just been sitting on the shelf because the big announcement this week was that the CW has acquired the rights to it. So I guess they finally found a home for it. So yeah, that sounds like fun.
Nifty.
Yeah. As far as the CW, I'm one of the few people still watching the Arrowverse shows. Todd knows this, but there was a cool little teaser for Batwoman season 3, which is coming up. It's been a very mixed.
Ruby Rose now, correct?
Yeah, so Ruby Rose was out. She left after season 1, and just Javicia Leslie took over the mantle as Batwoman, and it wasn't just like a straight recasting. They actually baked it into the story, which was cool. And they gave the original Batwoman kind of a send off at the end of season 2. It's been a very mixed show, but I mainly actually my favorite character in it is well, she was the big bad. Now they've moved on to other big bads, but the actress Rachel Skarsten played Batwoman's or Kate Kane's long lost sister, who was like lost in a car wreck, and they thought she was dead, but then she ended up being captured by some crazy person, and so she grows up like all messed up,
having amnesia.
Yeah, not exactly amnesia, but she just becomes like all messed up in the head because she just has a terrible life, sadly. But she ends up being a really awesome character, and kind of where she started out just straight up villain, then she became kind of like the on the fence sort of wild card, not fully redeemed, but still just like
Something.
Yeah, helps them out when it's convenient for her means or whatever. Yeah, and they're gonna play into that more. They showed with this season 3 teaser, but they're also introducing more of the old school Batman villains. They're bringing in Mad Hatter, bringing in Poison Ivy. So yeah, looks fun.
Nice.
And the one other show that I still personally love on as far as that whole Arrowverse is concerned is Legends of Tomorrow, because that's just straight up bonkers. Like they started out as part of the Arrowverse and they just went in this crazy like time traveling Doctor Who direction. So they're on season 7. They're about to start now. Wow. And now the whole team, they're spoilers for the end of season 6. Basically their ship blew up. It was destroyed and they're stuck in Prohibition era.
Nice.
Yeah. So that looks fun. Matt Ryan, who played Constantine, he originally had his own Constantine show on NBC, and then that got canned. But then he continued the character in the CW verse. He's been on as a regular in Legends of Tomorrow for the last couple of seasons, and spoilers, he has now exited the show at the end of season 6 as Constantine, and then they're bringing him back as an entirely different character.
Of course they are.
Because why not?
Didn't they also tie Lucifer to it during the death of
Crisis?
Queen?
Right.
The Crisis event. Yeah, they threw in Lucifer. Yeah.
Like actual Lucifer, or like some villain that names himself Lucifer?
Well, he's
Lucifer from the TV show.
From the Lucifer show.
Lucifer show, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, which threw everyone for a loop because they're like, wait, how is this connected at all? But that was also from a DC property, Lucifer comic. But yeah. Anyway. And more, I mentioned Doctor Who, but this is another one for people who love the wackiest of wacky sci-fi like me. So I've still been keeping up with the Doctor Who show. It's been hit or miss for a while for me now. I was really excited when for the first like 3 doctors of the continuation, 9, 10, 11, David Tennant, of course, on top. And the last 2 doctors been so. But a lot of the major fans really like their favorites were Doctors 9 and 10, the early years, because the showrunner was Russell T Davies. Well, big announcement, big twist is that he is now returning as the showrunner, and all the Doctor Who fans are losing their shit. Like, oh my God, yes, please save Doctor Who. A lot of them have been a lot of the geeks. I mean, this might come as a shock, but nerds can be critical. And a lot of them have said that the show has been going downhill for quite some time. I've still been enjoying it, but I would agree that the earlier seasons have been stronger. But this is pretty rad news for Doctor Who fans. I think only good stuff can come from this.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll see what happens next there.
You mean nerds aren't not critical?
That's crazy, right? It's sometimes.
I mean, the nerd rage is real.
Sometimes they can actually get in bad moods and try to scream at creators online to get them to change course in their creative storytelling. It's crazy. I know. You'd think that'd be
that would never happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, here's something that all nerds everywhere can get on board with. Mark Hamill celebrated this past week. He turned 70.
Nice.
Damn.
70. You know who else did?
Elvira.
Cassandra Peterson.
Cassandra Peterson.
Cassandra Peterson. Okay.
And Meg, you have a chance. You have a chance, Meg.
I know, she actually came out. She's in a 19-year relationship with her wife.
Yeah, with a woman. I don't know if they said they're married, but she's in a long-term girlfriend, I believe. Yeah.
Might as well be married.
Long-term partnership with
But kudos to that partner for not ever boasting about how she was fucking Cassandra Peterson.
She's Elvira's girlfriend. Yeah. There was a meme going around, a tweet like, yeah, I think we're like all the props to Cassandra Peterson for coming out and being brave like that. But major props for I don't have her name in my notes off the top of my head, but her partner for the Olympian feat for the last 19 years, not starting every conversation with Elvira's my girlfriend.
I'm banging Elvira.
Yeah. I would not have the self-control.
Nope.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm banging Elvira.
Probably one of the few times I could ever say that I've wanted to bang a 70-year-old woman.
Nice.
You've got a thing for older women, though. There's
but not 70.
That's pretty up there. That is pretty up there.
Pushing it, maybe.
You might break a
like
hip.
40s are pretty up there for me.
Yeah. She also had a Shudder special on the Shudder streaming service. It came out because it's the character of Elvira's 40th anniversary. So they had a 40th anniversary, very scary, very special. That's the official title of it.
The character's in your age range.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There's the loophole, Todd.
Yeah. It works. It's fine. But no, yeah, they did a much like the last drive-in specials with Joe Bob. They did this past Friday. They did a live stream event, and now it is available to replay on Shudder. So yeah, we'll have to check that out this week. But she did. It was a continuation of. I mean, if you ever watched her stuff from back in the day, she started out doing the similar thing like Joe Bob. She like hosts and delivers commentary to these classic movies. So she, on this one night special, she did, what was the movie lineup? It was, well, one of her own movies, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
No, I think Haunted
House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
I think that's, no, you're thinking Elvira's Haunted Hills.
Yeah, and I think she's doing that one too.
Well, I've got the list right here.
Oh.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, House on Haunted Hill, The City of the Dead, and Messiah of Evil.
Too many horror films named Haunted and Hill.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's the hill. You see the hill over there? It's got a house on it. It's haunted, I think. Yeah. Good for her. Yeah.
I just got that movie is Haunted Hills, like her boobs. I
play.
literally just got that.
Really?
Now? Just now, Meg. Man.
I'm not bright.
You're so pretty. Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap this up. I'm at the end of my news, unless you guys got anything else.
I got nothing.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff coming. This is ridiculous. Meg and I literally just within the last 2 weeks, we kind of made this little pact with ourselves because I was, I mentioned to Todd before, I was feeling in a funk after my birthday back in August. I turned 36, and I was kind of like, God, I haven't been doing anything like creative, my guitar's collecting dust, camera's collecting dust. I haven't worked on the next book or anything. And so we kind of made this pact to like get back to projects and stuff, like basically not just default to, okay, I'm off work, let's just veg out in front of the TV until we pass out. So we've instituted like a game night at least once a week, especially since we're doing your game nights. We've got so many games here, like collecting dust that we haven't even played. We got to get familiar with the rules and stuff. We want to have
a virtual tabletop game night.
Yeah. do that. Yeah, if you want to join in, we should do that. Andrew, you have some of those. What's the Steam games? The interactive Steam games again?
Jackbox. Yeah, we have some
Jackbox.
Jackbox that are super duper fun.
Yeah,
that are
Jackbox
really-
Party Pack is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have 3, 2, and 7, and like there's some games on there that I love playing that can all be done remotely just with a Zoom or video chat or something. So
We
Yeah.
could literally play actual board games through Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like you can play Carcassonne, Risk, Monopoly, Pandemic. There's 500 million games on there. Ticket to Ride. 500 million games on there that you can play.
Nice.
How many games? 500 million?
Half a billion.
Half a billion. Half a billion. Definitely 500 million. 10 minutes to Wapner. But yeah, so it's been fun and it's been easy to do because we've had this kind of lull in programming. And now we have this freaking tidal wave of content coming in the fall and winter months.
Fuck ton coming.
It's gonna be tricky to not be glued to the screen again, but oh well. No,
Make it work.
we'll make it work. All right, guys. Thank you for joining very much for another exciting Getting Off Topic. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
and I was Andrew.
And Meg.
You
Hey
were
Meg,
Andrew.
Past tense, always past tense.
what'd you do this week, Meg?
Well,